Yes, yes, Hairless here. Today we have our third home free Christmas reaction. Angels We Have Heard on High. This one's from 2014, around the same time that my previous reaction, Oh Holy Night. Card for that's up here if you want to go check that out, and in the description below. And this was filmed in the same location too. This is another carol of French origin, and like many traditional carols, it's homophonic, as you can see from the music on the screen now, which means that every part is singing the same rhythm. It's most well known for the Gloria passages, etc., which are not homophonic. So I'm interested to see what home free will do with these. Let's get straight into it.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plain. Angels we have heard on high. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Not gonna lie, I have no idea what my face was looking like there. I'm gonna need to watch that back and I'll probably be disgusted. But sorry, this is absolute filth. Good filth. They're sitting down, full focus on the disgustingly delicious harmonies here. When they started with the first verse, I really thought that it was going to be quite traditional. Well, on that note, it is traditional so far in the sense that they're sticking to the homophonic verse that I spoke about in the introduction. And then for the Gloria part, you've got the melody in Austin accompanied by the other parts. But these harmonies are anything but traditional. From what I heard there, especially in the second half, Adam arranged it. Ridiculous. This is proper close harmony. Right, let's go back and just recap some of the things that stood out to me from that first part.
Angels we have heard on high.
Rob's lovely solo opening kind of sets the tone. They're sitting down. I'm guessing it sets the tone unless they go absolutely mental later on. And the next part, there's a really nice layered entry between parts. Tim with his descending bass. And we can hear Adam singing. And I mean properly hear it. In the comments, I've seen loads of people saying that Adam has a really nice tenor voice. Well, here we are.
Angels we have
Austin's nice little country lick there leads into quite a harmonically ambiguous chord. It's this. It's so in tune that it actually produces some harmonics. If you don't know what harmonics are, it's that weird sound you get from overtone singing. Then in this part,
sweetly singing o'er the plains.
Tim's part is so important here. It's his part that really makes it clear which chords are being sung. It's giving us the harmonic foundation. Same with this part.
Echoing their joyous strains.
Because the chords created by all the other voices are so juicy, it is actually quite difficult to tell. Then we have this really famous, really catchy Gloria sequence. That I'm sure everyone knows. Austin adds some very nice little trills in there just to make it a bit more catchy, because why not? Why it's so catchy is because of this thing called a circle of fifths. It's basically a sequence, the bass, which goes here to here, which is down 5 notes, and then goes up to 1 below there, and then down another 5, and then up again to 1 below. So you're basically slowly going down, but going down a fifth, and then up 4, and down 5. So that's why it's called the circle of fifths. It's very, very recognizable in music, and it's very, very catchy, and it's a really good way to change key. So it's Tim's part here that's indicating that they're doing this. I just want to say, from what I've heard so far in this, compared to the other a cappella reactions I've done, the playlist is linked down below in the description if you want to see those other reactions. This is the most complex in terms of harmony. Alright, well, let's carry on. Let's see what's in store for the rest of it.
joy to the world. The Lord has come in glory, Come to Bethlehem and see him whose birth the angels sing. Come adore on bended knee Christ the
That's tight.
Lord, the newborn King. Gloria in excelsis Deo. In excelsis Deo. Ba-da-ba-da. In excelsis Deo.
What? There were parts of that genuinely made my body shudder in a good way. I think absurd is the appropriate word to use here. That was nuts. Whether you know much or not about music, I'm sure you can tell that the harmonies there are crazy and some of the chord structures they use were crazy. Let's go back for that, well, second half, I guess, and I'll pick out some bits that caught my ears along the way. So this part here. Tim with the bottom D there. I'm sure he can go lower, so he's just purposely making that really, really airy to just sound kind of like, you know, like a low organ note almost. So he comes in low, and then the other parts come in very quickly within the space of each other, descending. So you go from the bottom to the top and then downwards. And we saw that in their arrangement of White Christmas as well. Sorry, there's so much to talk about. I'm going to just try and pick out the parts that really stood out to me the most. So this part's really tight. It's Rob's part. Listen out for it. His starting note is It's so important because of the syncopation that it's providing. Syncopation is like funky rhythms, basically. So under Austin's really high bit here, that's quite sustained. You can hear do that kind of effect going underneath. It's subtle but so effective. But it goes without saying that there's no beat in this. It's 5-part harmony, perhaps owing to the nature of the song. On that point, I love the 3-part homophony here. They're singing the same words, the same rhythm. There's nothing else. There's no complications. It's all about the harmony here. It's all about the notes.
Come to Bethlehem and see.
It's the 3 tenors. Rob at the bottom, Adam in the middle. He really does have a naturally smooth tenor voice. And then, of course, Austin at the top. I did receive a comment in the previous video saying that Austin never uses his falsetto. Here's an example of Austin using his falsetto.
To Bethlehem and see.
It's so nice and smooth. And often, even if he can go up there with his chest voice or his full voice, he'll opt to use his falsetto for a softer sound, and I guess a more angelic sound used for quieter parts of the songs. Right, this next part, this arrangement, there's chromatic inflections, suspensions, there's too much. But for this next part, I'm finding myself drawn to Tim's line. In my mind, it's mimicking organ pedals. So just in case anyone isn't aware, organs have a third part other than your right hand and your left hand, which is the pedals underneath that you play with your feet. They're basically a super, super low bass sound. Here, I found this video that demonstrates it quite well. You can see his feet playing and listen out for the bottom part.
It's like,
so this section that I'm about to play you is what I imagine Tim's part to be. And it's so smart how every part except for Tim are really high up in their registers. This completely removes Tim, like as far away as he can be from them, really exaggerates his part and really exaggerates the tightness of the upper parts there. This part here, again, Tim, listen to his part, it starts on da, and then, so he goes da, da, dum, and then goes up the octave from there. what that octave jump does for him, he's on the same note but just moves up the octave. It puts him closer to the other part, so it creates a little cluster of notes up there, which then leads to his part that runs down, descends, opening up the arrangement completely. Let's have another listen to that. Up, down. So now it's opened up. And finally, to finish, these last 3 chords. Chord number 1 of the last 3. Tim and Chris, they're both on A flat. So they're singing the same note, 1 octave apart. We also have in that chord though, the B flat. So we have these 2 notes. It's like Tim and Chris are saying, you know what, let's double down on the note that has a clash right next to it. Chord number 2, Adam's note, F up here. Tim's note, F sharp or G flat, but down here. So we've basically got these 2 notes. That's the closest clash you can get between 2 notes. And why this is particularly interesting is because the final chord is the chord of F. So Adam's note, that is the F. That is going to be the whole key that it finishes in. And Tim has the audacity, I'm joking, it's obviously a cool part, but he's just really emphasizing the juiciness of the arrangement with this. That just chromatic descend into that final chord, which takes us into the final chord. That is our nice F chord. And that is pretty much the purest chord that we have in the whole arrangement. But you didn't think that they're just going to have a simple chord like that, did you? No. They even have a cheeky G in there. So in F, G is the next note. So the chord sounds like this. That's nice, isn't it? That arrangement is crazy. Truly. To me, it's now in the territory that I wouldn't be surprised if someone thought it was a bit much, actually, because it's so, well, overwhelming. I love it. I think it's unreal. Let's leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below. As always, thank you for watching. I would appreciate a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.